So anatomy is kind of a big subject. Um, you can spend years figuring out how to do it. The old masters would study it for years and years and never stop practicing, which is kind of the key to mastering it. And today I'm going to show you the easiest way I know of to draw the human body. Obviously, if you want to get good at it, then use a lot of reference and a lot of practice. But here's like the easiest way I know of. This is like a quick sketch of it. It's a weird dinosaur. But let's give it a go, okay? Bye bye, dinosaur. So the easiest way, the easiest pitfall to fall into would be the proportions. So in order to circumvent all that, I'm gonna draw a line which will represent the height of my of the human I'm gonna draw. Now there are some key differences between male and female. We'll start with male. The basics are the same. This is the height minus the head. I'm gonna divide this into 3 parts, equal parts. The top side or part, excuse me, is the torso and belly. The second part is the pelvis, and the third part is the knees. Okay, so very important to remember when you're drawing a male, then the broadest part is going to be the shoulders. So let's do something like this. Now, the hips are just above the line, and here's the pelvis. The thighs begin here. Now I'm taking this part a bit outside because the bone that connects the pelvis to the thigh juts out a bit, so please remember that. Here's the knees, the shin. Again, the muscle, we're going to take it a bit outside. And I'm going to draw the legs close together because it's, for a starter, it's easier. And for the legs, I'm going to draw the trapezoid, which will be sort of like the feet in perspective. Now, the head is going to be a bit above it. And in order to draw the neck, I'm going to start with both from one side of the sort of jaw, I guess, and take a line down and again and drop down, sort of. Muscular men have this part more accentuated, I think the word is, and we have bones here. Now the arms, we're going to start with the shoulder. I'm going to draw a ball that touches the top part of the upper line I drew, and it's going to be on the body line. And because the muscle of the shoulder is kind of like a ball of muscles, and from here I'm going to drop a line. I'm going to end it in the middle of the thigh, and you should definitely try it. If you stand up for a second and drop your hands next to your body, then most likely they're going to reach the middle of the thigh. So I'm just going to draw the length of the arm. I'm going to divide it into 2. This is like the elbow. And at the bottom part, I'm going to do like an oval for the hand. And this, I can give it dimensions. I can leave it like this. It doesn't matter. It will get, I'll give it the muscles in a second. Okay, so chest muscles, their upper part is connected to the shoulders, something like this. and the lower part is from underneath them, and usually they are like lines of muscles. The upper part for the abs is going to be the lower part of the ribs, and you can just, again, look at reference. This is like the generalization of it, and that's pretty much it. I can give it some more volume, but that's pretty much it without like going into leg muscles and all of that. So a few things about what we have here. First of all, if we're going to eventually, when we draw the figure in motion, if it's facing us, then please note that the hand cannot get further from the body than this arc. So even if we lift the shoulder here, this is where the hands will be, okay? When it's up like this, then you can see the muscles of the back. Something like this. And we can have some fun with it. So if I decide that this is the shoulders, again, same height, same 3 parts, but this time I'm going to do something like this. And the pelvis, and I'm going to do this part huge as well, but the head is going to be on the same height, and legs, and arms, but this one's really, really thick. So we have kind of an Incredible Hulk kind of figure, I guess, like a strong guy, I guess you can call it. Now, learning how to draw the muscles exactly right. Today we're going to talk about volumes more than actual muscle structure, but it's just a matter of practice and looking at reference when you draw, okay? If I want to draw someone who's like really, really overweight, let's call it, then again, the 3 parts, and I'm going to draw this body shape, and here we go. The neck was going to be very, very thick. Okay, and the arms close to the body this time because it's not very muscular. And that's it. So with just a bit of practice, you can draw the human male in whatever body type you want. Just remember the shoulders, even if he's fat, the shoulders, unless I'm going to do like something very, very, very out there, not realistic. If you're drawing a male, then the shoulders are always the broadest part. But of course, I can draw something like this, and the shoulders will be here, okay? And the hands are gonna look a bit like a T-Rex, like too small. But these things come, like when you want to break the rules, if you want to break the rules in a productive way, first learn the rules. So, you know, this is possible. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. Just know what you're dealing with, okay? So this is the male anatomy from the front. let's try from the side, okay? So, same line, he's our friend. This line will save you a lot of problems when you're trying to draw at least in the beginning, but it'll never change because this line gives you the height of the character, and the chances of you misjudging the height in the frame is considerably lower when you use this technique, okay? So here we go. This time we're gonna have sort of a trapezoid like this, trapezoid like this, and the shoulders will come here, the thighs will begin here, okay, because they start higher at the sides and lower from the actual connecting points of the legs and the pelvis, and something like this, and the head with and the hands will reach here, so you can draw something like this. And I'm gonna erase here so you can see it, and that's pretty much it. If I want to draw someone who's huge, then I'm gonna do something like this. The joints are always thinner because there are no muscles on the actual joints, because obviously there's movement is the main point of them. So always remember that the leg becomes thinner as it gets to the joint or gets off a joint, and the muscles are always in between these. Obviously you can do a leg like this, but it wouldn't look as good. And obviously this is not human. Something to remember, kind of messed it up a bit here. If you want to make it look more realistic, then there should be balance. And in this character, there's a bit too much weight on this side of the line. So in order for it to look more balanced, I need to draw the other leg here. And suddenly it'll look better. Okay, and huge arm. Okay. Let's have some fun. Let's do this line, and I don't know. Someone who's like really thin. Their head bending low. Now, we're going to draw the female anatomy method of this next, and then we're going to draw a bit the body in motion, the basics of it. Again, this is like a huge topic, and you can spend a lifetime drawing and studying the human anatomy. It never ends. So use the basics to give yourself a boost forward, and just give it a go, and You can send stuff to me over here, over Facebook, if anyone's on it. And I would love to give you some constructive criticism and whatnot. And yeah, it'll be very, very nice to communicate with you and help you along your way. Okay. Okay, so female next. Okay, so same line, bit of a different proportions though. Still 3 parts, 3 sections. And in a woman, the widest part of the body would be the pelvis. Giving birth to other people would do that to you. So I can draw this. Usually the hips are a bit higher than a man, and this would be the pelvis. This is why the hips, the pelvis would look wider, and the legs would look a bit longer because the hips are higher. So here we go. The shoulders, and again, obviously there are many body types and women who work out and lift weights, but still for most of them this will be like a very standard, so to speak, body type. And the chest, again, you have this. Usually it's not very noticeable, but the breasts kind of hang a bit lower. And here we go. Okay. Obviously, many variations on this too. We're not going to get too much into this. Let's try 1, 2, 3. Let's try and draw some very muscular Amazon type female warrior, I guess. The anatomy, not the actual design of and details. So I'm gonna give her wide shoulders, and if you can tell, the hips aren't much wider than they are in the first version I made, not regular, excuse me. But the shoulders are somewhat wider, and this is one. And I'm gonna do larger shoulder muscles. Divide to 2. This is the elbow, who's in the middle of the arm between the shoulders and the hand. And I'm gonna give her thicker arms and about the same size breasts. And here we go. This is the connecting point. Okay, so and again, if we go with a heavier body type, then all the rules still apply. Just remember the hips. And shoulders, not too big. And here we go. And the heavier the breasts, usually the lower they hang, unless there's some sort of assistance, let's call it. And here we go. Let's try a bit from the side. Our infamous line. And from the side you can see the width of the shoulders, so just making the pelvis a bit bigger. This is the shape without the legs, and the legs go through here. And the breasts hang from the chest muscles and the shoulder. And hopefully this won't be too insulting, but one way of thinking about it is like a ball in some sort of a bag, because the weight is at the bottom. You rarely see breasts that go like this, unless, I don't know, something went horribly wrong, or it's like, I don't know, the woman is jumping or something. So usually it's like a ball that's hanging in a sort of a bag that is connected to the shoulder and the muscles of the chest, the upper chest, I mean. Some are small, some are larger. Many shapes and sizes. You choose which kind of body type you want to draw. Usually the body is softer. I mean, the male is like a triangle of sorts, and the female's is usually softer. Again, this is like a generalization, so it's not always the case. But it's something like this, and if I want to draw someone's bigger than usually it's here, the weight will be. Something like that. Hooray. Okay,